I chose to go on an alternative break trip based on my freshman year experience. I was in LEAP, which is a living learning community for life science majors, and part of that was going on an alternative break trip in the springtime, and I had so much fun, and we worked with different kinds of people and the environment, and it was such a great experience. I wanted to get as much of that as I could while I was still here at LMU.
I decided to do alternative breaks because in high school I did similar trips to El Salvador and to Mexico. Thus, I wanted to learn more about Latin America.
I decided to apply for Ignacio Companions because I work in campus ministry. A lot of people at my job were applying, and so that kind of like sparked my interest, and I heard a lot of good things about it last year, and I really enjoy doing service and helping people, so I just thought it'd be a good way to spend my spring break rather than, you know, like just going to Cabo or just staying at home and not really getting anything done, but actually like helping people and showing compassion for others.
I went to the AD Nicaragua trip, and the focus of the trip was public health. One of the things we did while we were in Nicaragua was the day was kind of split in half. The morning we went to clinics, and we were all divided in different sections, and so some of us would be in the very rural parts of Nicaragua, and the others would stay in the city, but it would be in various clinics. So we got small intimate groups and we went to different clinics. And in the afternoon we all came back together and went to a very small town, and we did workshops with the teenagers there about public health and sexual reproduction and with pregnant women. We saw faith a lot in the daily life of the Nicaraguans because they're very Catholic based, and you could tell by the way that they live their lives. They're very much aware that the teenagers there are very sexually active, so seeing all these pregnant women isn't a big surprise for them, and they're very proactive about their faith because they do allow the clinics to give out like free contraceptives, which is very modern thinking for Catholicism and Christianity. So that's how the faith plays in the daily life of the Nicaraguans, which was really apparent in the clinics and at the workshops.
I've been on 2 alternative break trips. The first one was during my sophomore year. I went to Guatemala, and the focus for that trip was indigenous rights. And then this previous year, my junior year, I went to Atlanta, and that trip focused on the correlation between poverty and education. Throughout the week that we were there, we volunteered at a middle school, a very low income middle school where mostly all the students were predominantly African American. After we were done at the middle school, we would do a different activity. We just went through Atlanta and learned more about the culture. We went to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house. We went to Morehouse College, Spelman College, Clark University, and just diverse ourselves into the city of Atlanta.
The trip I went on was the IC Jamaica trip, and the theme was Love is My Religion. There wasn't really a focus of the trip, it was just more based on spirituality and faith. But some of the service sites we went to 2 different elderly centers. We went to a basic school, which is like here is an elementary school, and then we also went to Missionaries of the Poor, which is a church, and then in the basement of the church is where special needs people live, and so we got to spend a couple hours with them and help out.
Being involved in the AV trip, it really teaches the students about how social justice works it's not a quick fix. It's not just donating resources or raising money and then giving it to them and taking off. It's really about making way and setting a path for the people to kind of grow on the kind of information you learn from them and the information they learn from you. It really impacted me and my perspective of the healthcare system, not only in the United States and Nicaragua, but everywhere in the world.